So in MCC counseling, there will be like 3 types of colleges. So state counseling will take care of entire 85% of the seats in the government colleges. So you have to apply separately for MCC counseling and separately for the state counseling. What are the checklist? What are the documents that you need to be ready? These are very important thing, because it will help you to ensure that you get the right college for you. So congratulations to all the future doctors. You have put your heart and soul into cracking NEET 2025. Now I'll say the most difficult part is over, but the most crucial part is about to start now. So NEET results are about to come, and after that will be the counseling. So let's deep dive today about NEET Counselling 2025. We'll look into all the minute details, all the things that you need to be careful for. So this video is going to be very important for all the future doctors, all the students, and as well as all the parents as well. So please go through the entire video, and if you want us to answer any question, you can type below in the comment. And also, if you like us to make any video specific to a certain detail during this NEET counseling, you can also put that down in the comment. So let's start out with NEET Counselling 2025. So now if we talk about NEET Counselling, so today we will be covering majorly the counselling for the MBBS and the BDS course. Although there will be you have Ayush for the Ayurvedic and other courses, and you have veterinary courses. So that's a separate counselling process. So we will be looking totally today into the MCC counselling. So MCC counselling is basically for the All India quota as well as few institutes. So what are those few institutes? We are also going to look into that. And then we'll be also talking about the state counseling. So in NEET, the counseling, there are like 2 different types of counseling. So there'll be certain the MCC counseling, which is like All India counseling, and then there'll be state counseling. We'll also see what will be the difference, how much seats will be there, and all that detail as we go ahead. So before that, a big picture about the NEET counseling. So NEET is a mandatory exam, like unlike JEE, which is not compulsory for the institutions. But NEET is a compulsory exam to take admission in the field of MBBS or BDS. Doesn't matter whether it's a private college, deemed university, or a government college. So it's a mandatory exam. And the counseling level, MCC, will happen on the All India level. And there will be like total seats around approximately 1.5 lakh seats will be there in the counseling for the MBBS and the BDS rank. Now this year the paper have come slightly difficult. So the exact ranks or the exact cutoff, maybe we cannot predict right now. So once the results are out, maybe we'll talk about that in more detail. So let's talk about the MCC counseling. So MCC counseling is basically for All India quota. So in MCC counseling, there will be like 3 types of colleges. One is all the government colleges. So all the government colleges which are there, so 15% of the seats are reserved for the All India quota, that is for the MCC counseling, and 85% seats are reserved for the state counseling. Apart from the government colleges, all the deemed universities also fall under the MCC counseling, like Kasturba Medical College in Manipal. So that's a very good college, one of the top colleges. So that's a deemed university that also falls under MCC counseling, as well as all the central universities. So all the central universities like Jamia Millia, AMU, BHU, or all the AIMS and even JIPMER. So JIPMER do have state quota, but the counseling happens through the MCC. So AIMS, all the seats, deemed university 100% seats, all the central university 100% seats are done through the MCC counseling. Only for the government, the government medical colleges, that's 15%. For all remaining deemed universities and central universities, 100%. Now, who all can apply for this counseling? So generally you can say that 600 plus marks, but then again the results are not out, so we cannot be sure about that. But considering that it have less number of quota over here, and AIMS and other colleges are pretty high in demand, so generally we can say that around 600 plus marks will be like the best way to go for the MCC counseling. Otherwise, yes, you can also go for the state counseling, especially people from Tamil Nadu state, which is a pretty good state in terms of doing medicine, because we have a lot of good colleges. So state counseling also gives us the advantage to pick up the other government colleges or the private colleges as well. So next, moving on to the state counseling. So state counseling will take care of entire 85% of the seats in the government colleges, and then private colleges it will be full 100% seats. Even if you want to go for management quota and other things like private student, 100% seats are through the state counselling. And for the state counselling, the criteria or the documents required might vary little bit here and there. In fact, the deposit fees, all of that will also vary for the state counselling. So mostly you might be required some domicile certificate for the state counselling. So that will be one of the requirement, but then again it varies from state to state. So this is the two major counselling, that is the state counselling as well as the All India MCC counselling. Now let's talk about the counselling in detail. Let's have a quick look into the rough timeline, and we'll also understand the process of that. So NEET exam was there on 4th of May, and the results I think will come by 14th of June. Like the little bit here and dates can vary because sometimes they'll mention a date in the official website, but it comes maybe 1 or 2 days plus or minus. That happens quite frequently. So that will be the result date. After that, the counselling will start. We can say around like July or August, around that time. So the counselling will start. Now, how the counselling works? So we have a look into that. But then again, all these are tentative dates because last year the counselling got delayed. So the dates might vary, as well as the dates for the further round will also vary. But generally, what happens in the counselling for the NEET is that, because as I told you, there are two types of counselling: the MCC counselling as well as the state counselling. So in NEET, the counselling happens in such a way that the multiple rounds are fit in between. For example, what will happen is, by the way, you have to apply for them separately. So you have to apply separately for MCC counselling and separately for the state counselling. So sometimes student also does that mistake, and like it can be a big issue later on. So ensure that you are applying for it. And then again, as I've told you, condition for different state might vary depending on the state. Not much variation, but little bit variations are there. So how it works is that first there will be the All India level MCC counselling that will happen in round 1. Then after that will happen the round 1 of the state counselling. Then there will be round 2 of MCC counselling, then round 2 of the state counselling. So the counselling of the All India level and state level happen in such a way that the dates are in between, so that as a student you also get a better clarity. Let us say you applied for the All India counselling and you are aiming for something, let's say AIMS. Now if you do not get AIMS, then you can go to the state counselling. So the counselling happens like kind of in between. So for example, there will be MCC round 1, then state round 1, MCC round 2, state round 2, and so on. So that will be the roughly how the counselling will works. Now let us talk about what will be the free exit, upgrades, and what will be the deposit and all of that for the MCC counselling. Now what happens is that, so for the counselling process, first we have to do registration. Now when you do registration, there will be a certain registration fees that will be, let's say, around 1000 rupees. But apart from that, there will be also security deposit. Now what is the security deposit? The idea of security deposit is that if you are applying for the other colleges, the security deposit is around 10,000. But if you are applying for the deemed universities, then the security deposit is 2 lakh, which is a pretty big amount. So another thing while the student goes for this counselling is that you need to ensure that there is a good amount of security deposit also involved in the counselling. And if the counselling is not done properly, the security deposit can also get forfeited. So let's say if you have applied for deemed university, the security deposit itself is 2 lakh. And then you apply for the state counselling, there also you are putting security deposit. So you need to know when to do the free exit. You need to know when to apply for the upgrade. So that is very important for this entire counselling process. So first will be registration. So we are talking about the MCC counselling, but state counselling will be separate. So for the MCC counselling, you do the registration. Then we have to do the choice filling. Now what happens is, let us say round 1 is over. So after round 1, either I will get a seat in MCC counselling or I will not get a seat. Now if I do not get a seat, then automatically will go to round 2, no problem. But if I get a seat, I have 2 options. Either I can do the free exit. If I do free exit, I'll get my security deposit back. But if I get a college, now once I get the college, either I will take the admission over there, and I can also apply for the upgrade. So in that case, what happens, you can again go to round 2. But for the upgrade, again, you have to go to the center and apply for it. So that's why you can go for the round 2. So in the first round, you have the option of free exit. There you get the deposit, the security deposit back. Then after that, what happens? Let's say you do not get a seat in the round 1 MCC counseling, then you can apply for the state. Then the state counseling round 1 will happen. Over there also same process. In the round 1, if you do not like the seat you have got, you have the option of free exit. Or if you get a college, you can also again apply for the upgrade, like based on if you want a better seat out there. Or if you do not get a seat, by default you will go to the round 2. Now what will happen next will be the round 2 MCC counseling. Now once you are in the round 2 MCC counseling, now if you have been allotted a seat and if you do not take it, you have to forfeit the security money. So that security money will be gone now. But if you get a college, then again you can take a seat over here, then apply for the upgrade. Now let's assume that you have applied for the upgrade in round 1. Now we are in round 2. So if you get your upgraded choice, then your seat, like the original, the previous seat that you have got, will be allotted to someone else, and you'll be shifted to your upgraded choice. But again, if you get a college, and again if you forfeit, then the security deposit, you will not get that, you have to forfeit it. So now the process will keep on happening. Now next will be state round 2, then MCC round 3, like that. Now as I've told you earlier, the states might have slightly different process of doing that, but roughly this will be how the counseling will be happening. So you have to be very careful, because your good amount of money, like around few lakhs of money, can get stuck just in the time of counseling. And you have to be very careful when to forfeit, because free exit only exists in the round 1, not round 2 afterwards. So if you get a college, take a seat if you are happy with it, or you can apply for upgrade. So in the round 1, we can have the free exit, there will not be any penalty. But round 2, if we do not take it, then we have to forfeit the deposit money, which is a pretty big number for the deemed universities. So you can also apply for deemed university, but the deemed university fees will be on a higher side. You can say that maybe you need to have a budget of, let's say, 80 lakh, 90 lakh, or 1 CR, like that, for deemed universities. But for government colleges, the fees is almost very minimal. So now, what are the checklist? What are the documents that you need to be ready for the counseling before the counseling starts? So that is NEET admit card. Anyhow, you will be having that because you have already wrote the NEET exam. Then there will be a NEET scorecard, rank letter. You will be getting that as soon as the results are out. You also need to have the 10th mark sheet and certificate. It also acts as your date of birth proof, because they'll have the date of birth in the 10th certificate. You need to have the 12th certificate. The results are out, so you'll be having that now. You need to have a valid ID proof, preferably Aadhaar card. You also need to have 8 passport size photos. So ensure that you get those photos done. And if you're applying for a certain category, let's say for a OBC, SC, ST, or for the PWD category, so you need to have the specific, either the caste category or the PWD certificate, whichever category you are applying for. And lastly, you need to have the domicile certificate for the state counseling, because 85% of the government seats will go through the state counseling. So then again, the requirement might vary a little bit for state to state, but roughly yes, you need to have the state counseling. So keep in your mind, these are very important thing, because it will help you to ensure that you get the right college for you. And if you need any help to find out the right college for you, you can let us know. If you belong to a certain state, you are unsure about how the process will be, you can comment below and we'll help you out in that process. So we wish you all the best to all the NEET aspirants who are about to apply for their counselings. Wish you all the best and see you in the next video.